The college basketball experience pregame show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet is what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, get $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by SGPN's Big Game Bingo. Yes, $57 SGPN gift card for every time you hit bingo. We're also brought to you by SGPN's 57 Bets Challenge. Yeah, $570 cash and a $570 gift card to the winner of the props contest. Get all of our contest info exclusively on the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And remember, folks, if you're going to be out in the great state of Arizona, the big game, yeah, there's a few big games. I know the Northern Arizona, the Sun Devils of Arizona State, and the Wildcats of Arizona probably playing some ball this week. But I'm talking about the Super Bowl here. Make sure to check out our live show at Ainsworth Thursday, 11 a.m. The Sports Gambling Podcast. Registered today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/big game. So check out all that. And remember, as always, to let it ride.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you listen to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Welcome to the college basketball experience pregame show for February 7th. Yeah, random pregame show. We're going to try to do this more and more and more as we, inch closer and closer and closer to March Madness. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I can't talk to this son of a bitch. I can't talk to that son of a bitch. I really can't. I can't.
I played the wrong clip, but sometimes it's got to roll. I can't talk to that son of a bitch. All right? That's the way I feel when Matt goes against one of my picks. All right? I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins at West Virginia and Frank Martin at South Carolina, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, and a guy that will be at the Siegel Center very shortly. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre.
Let's go, man. Super Tuesday pregame show. Yeah. Get a couple picks out there, then I'm out. I'm going to drink some beer at the Siegel Center. Ram it.
Yeah. I mean, we are going to be ramming in here. That game's fantastic. Remember Dayton at VCU. All right. The music is already hitting. But we're also bringing in a third member of the crew here. This guy writes a lot of great content over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. He covers college basketball as good as any. And he's got a great article that he just published. Check it out. Get the SGPN app for free in the App Store, Google Play Store, or just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I almost said. Give it up for Nick Famelon. How you doing, Nick?
Good guys. How we doing? I'm excited. This slate tonight is electric. There are a lot of good games tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the largest slate, but sometimes that's good because when it's too big, sometimes you're just breezing through content. I know we got a 1-star on iTunes, but someone said you didn't break down all the games and pick why. Oh, it's because we only had 195 games. You jackass! Look, we try to get it done. All right, we got one tipping off within the hour. All right, Rutgers at Indiana, which I mean. This is a huge game. It's a huge game in the Big Ten. Now, I doubt that Rutgers will be able to catch Purdue now, but they do have the tiebreaker on them. But you never know. It's only 2.5 games. Meanwhile, Indiana is a game back from Rutgers. So this is all seeding in the Big Ten tournament at stake here, and perhaps, maybe, even the number 1 seed in the Big Ten. If a crazy scenario happens with the Boilermakers. This line opened up at 4.5. It stayed at 4.5 pretty much the whole way. Rutgers won by 15 the last time they played on December 3rd. I'm curious, Nick, what do you make of this one, and what are you leaning here?
I'm on Rutgers plus the 4.5. I think Rutgers defense is going to be able to keep them within this number, and Indiana likes to play big down low, and that's exactly what Rutgers is bringing to Assembly Hall tonight. So I think Rutgers is going to play the type of ball that Indiana wants to play, and they're going to stay within that number.
Yeah, and you got the letdown spot opportunity going on here. Yeah. You know, coming off that huge rivalry win against the Boilermakers. Although Assembly Hall, you know, Indiana's 12-1. 12-1 at Assembly Hall. There, Mike Woodson bringing back the days of Bobby Knight. Mac, I know we picked this game last night, but any change of heart?
No, even though Rutgers did get some bad news today with I always butcher his name. Mawit Mag is going to miss the remainder of the season. He averages 8 and 5, kind of a glue guy for them. But man, I think it's next man up. This is kind of I look at Rutgers kind of like as I look at Providence in the Big East, where they're just going to go on the road, compete, keep the game close. They're not going to get blown out. So I still like them to stay within that 4.5. And it's a 1-possession game. Classic Big Ten, comes right down the wire. I think they have a chance to win still. Letdown spot.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to just duplicate the show that we did last night for the chat that's there, but I did just want to highlight some of the bigger games, get Nick's take on them, and also potential line movement. You know, all the games with the big line movement there. But what's up to the whole chat? As we're rolling along here, appreciate you guys. I'll say one. We got to touch base on the other game at 3:30. Even though I know me and Matt kind of already voiced our opinions, but the line has moved up a little bit. UConn was laying 4 when we went to record last night. It is now 5. Marquette heading into UConn. NC Nick dropped some great gems about Marquette's losses and how they haven't really lost by 5 all year. I feel like this is at the XL Center. In Hartford. Interesting spot here. I'm still at 5. I'll go UConn, but I don't love this. Love this. At 4, I felt a little bit better. I'm not high on this UConn team. Nick, what's your opinion of this game?
Yeah, I'm with you in where I'm not high on the UConn team. I am going to take the points with Marquette. I love that it's going up. Obviously, I love it even more. I picked it at 3.5. This team is just a wagon right now, and I don't want to get in the way of this Marquette team. So I'm going to take the points. I'm also on the over. I think this is going to be a close game, potential overtime type of game. So I'm going to take the over. And yeah, like I said, Marquette, I mean, they're 16-7 against the spread. That's a number that I don't want to get in the way of.
Yeah, and I've seen that over at 148. Mac, has this changed your opinion at all? Where you still going UConn minus the 5 there, or is this something that you think back off? I mean, I know you didn't lock it, right?
I'm not betting this. I liked what Nick said about Marquette not getting blown out. A little surprising that the number has gone up, especially with how hot Marquette is coming into this game. So it seems like UConn's a heavy public and sharp side tonight. So we'll see what happens in Hartford.
Yeah, I'll tell you one line that dropped a little bit. And if you waited to tail pick Dundee, this is a nice, filthy, disgusting game in the MAC where Western Michigan is taking on Miami, Ohio. It was at 3.5. It's down to 3. Perfect time to hop on the Redhawks. Perfect time to hop on the Redhawks in a gross game. But it's at Millett Hall, and you know what they say about Millett Hall? It's a hard place for Western Michigan to win. That's all they say. All right. Any lean in this just fun action game, Nick here?
While I love mixing in some MAC action with these big games in other Power 6 conferences, I do lean Miami, Ohio. I'm with you on that. I don't have it locked up, but I mean, you could definitely push me in that direction to locking it up. But I do lean Miami, Ohio for sure.
Season push, Dundee.
might have to push you in that direction.
That's the worst thing you can say on this show, Nick.
I guess the big one. Hold on, I'm looking at other big line movement, and I'll say this: North Carolina Wake Forest game. I think I saw, was it Rocco Miller? I forget who tweet out that this might be one of only 3 remaining quad 1 games for North Carolina, a team that's on the bubble, and I think a lot of people have them on the outside of the bubble after the loss to Duke. That's pretty shocking. Obviously, they would have a chance at some more in the ACC tournament, but Wake's only lay it now. This line has moved all around. I think Nick alluded to this last night that I've seen Carolina as a 1.5 point favorite. I got Wake at 1.5 when we did the show last night, or it might've been flat 1. Now I'm seeing Wake minus 0.5 point right now is what I'm seeing. Mac, has that changed your opinion, and the fact that they don't have many opportunities against quad 1 and I guess the line movement?
Not really, because like you said, they haven't really done anything on the road. Their best road win is Syracuse in a game where honestly the game was gifted to them by the officials down the stretch.
Yeah.
So, and I got their schedule pulled up. I mean, remaining opportunities, Miami and Virginia and Duke all are at home, but they do need a marquee road win before the ACC tournament starts. Or yeah, I mean, they probably will make it into the tournament just because their name is North Carolina, but their resume is not very good right now.
Charm and soft, they say. Nick, where do you lean on this game, and what do you make of the Tar Heels' chances to get into the big dance?
So I fully agree. Like, if UNC didn't have the UNC name on them, they probably wouldn't make it in the tournament. This team just isn't good this year. But obviously the committee and everybody's going to want them in because, I mean, look at the run they made last year when they weren't that good of a team as well. But I do lean Wake Forest in this game, but I really love the over in this game. Wake Forest is averaging 24 3-point attempts per game. UNC is averaging 22. These teams love just ripping the 3. Obviously, Armando Bacot is going to be down low. Surprisingly, you would think he gets a lot of offensive boards, but his numbers are like down a bit this year compared to last year. But I'll put my faith in Caleb Love and Tyree Appleby to get some scoring done to hit the over.
Perhaps it's that NIL money.
Yeah.
Get that NIL money. All of a sudden, life's a little bit better. You buy that recliner you wanted. Gotta start eating at better restaurants. Life gets a little easier. No dog in you anymore. I'm joking, Armando. Also, I'm taking Wake here just because I need to see Carolina really do it on the road.
Agreed.
But it's interesting, the over angle, that over under at 154, and obviously if this was East Carolina, they would have them out of the tournament. But it's a good thing that East Carolina is going to win the AAC and make the NCAA tournament. And I'll always crowbar.
Throw it in there.
I'll always crowbar it in, guys. But they're not playing tonight. But still, it's perfect time to play the heaters, the hits. That's why people really tune in for the hits. Sorry. The game
they're on tomorrow.
Yeah, they're on tomorrow. Prepare yourself for that song.
Tonight. Yep.
yeah. Later tonight.
Yep.
Okay. The VCU line has came down about 0.5 point. This game, and this opened up at 1.5, jumped up to I think 4.5. Now it's down at 3.5. You are going to this game. Are you still as confident with VCU? I mean, I guess you should be, right, with the dropping. Mac?
Yeah, with the home court advantage, I think. Well, it opened at 1.5 before the show, and then skyrocketed all the way up to 4.5, like you said. Some injury concerns, but it sounds like Dayton's going to be full strength tonight for the most part. I'm on VCU. I definitely think they're going to cover this game because of the Siegel Center, but this is a desperate spot for Dayton. If they have any chance of getting back into the A10 mix, you got to win this game at the Siegel Center.
Definitely. Shout out to Moonoff in the chat. He says bet the over in MAC games and retire. There we go.
Football or basketball?
It doesn't matter. Probably he's probably
Exactly.
talking about both.
Both.
Yeah, but shout out to Moonov. Everyone, check out the NBA Gambling Podcast and the MLB Gambling Podcast and
all
the NFL Gambling. I feel like everything.
Yeah.
Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. But Moonov does great work. Great guy as well. Other big games with line movement, I would say the Eastern Michigan game. Back to the filthy Mac. Why is this at 10? This was at 8 last night. It's jumped up 2 points. This, as a guy that's already wagered on Eastern Michigan plus 8.5, I'm terrified of the news that potentially could come out because these are these college basketball games that don't get a ton of coverage. So I feel like right before the game tips, like a minute before, John Rothstein will tweet out something like, Amani Bates is out tonight. COVID situation.
I just checked Twitter. He is not on Twitter right now. So as of right now, Amani Bates is playing because that was the first thing I thought. I go, shit, what am I missing here? I think maybe that everybody just thinks there's going to be a shitload of points because neither team plays defense in the MAC, kind of to Moonoff's point, and maybe they just think they'll outrace them. But hey, man, Eastern Michigan's been hanging in these games.
Something's weird. Something's weird. Why would that jump 2 points?
Yep, I know.
Why would it jump 2 points, Nick? We've already placed our wagers on the Eastern Michigan Eagles, so we're either prepared to eat large quantities of shit or we're geniuses. What are you doing in this game?
I'm staying away at the +8. I leaned Buffalo, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eastern Michigan comes out and even could potentially keep it real close, like one possession type of game. But at 9.5, obviously, if we take away how fishy that seems, I would definitely take the 9.5 with Eastern Michigan. If Amani Bates is prop, I know it wasn't even out earlier, but if that put out, that would be my play and just take his points over. But I'm going to stay far away from this game.
Yeah. It makes me feel very confident. Makes me feel very confident about what up to Graham, who goes, "What's up, you goddamn beauties?" I've been called that a few times. The bold and the beautiful. Someone sent us a DM saying something like that, or the bold and the beautiful. So I forget what exactly it was, but it was some correlation to some show in Australia. We got. Okay, how about this one here? Because I want to. There is some more line movement that I would like to key on. South Carolina's number goes up to 15.5. Is that 14? I believe when we called it yesterday, if memory serves me correct. Gamecocks almost knocked off the Razorbacks. Now, granted, that was in Columbia, South Carolina. Now they head into Columbia, Missouri. Hard to tell the difference. But what are you? Have you perhaps changed your ways on this one, Mac?
No, I think it's too many points, and all the pressure in the world is on Missouri in a game like this. We just saw last night with the team that's not used to having all this pressure in Milwaukee lay an egg with about a kind of similar number here against Green Bay. So I think this is a good spot for the Gamecocks to keep it close. Missouri, man, it's been a great story, but a lot of pressure here. All you can do is lose in the situation because if you win, everybody's like, "Oh, you're supposed to do that." So we'll see if they play tight or not.
Yeah, Nick, where are you going here, and what do you make of the Missouri Tigers this year?
Yeah, that's a ton of points in this game. So I would initially just lean South Carolina just because it's so many points, and Gigi Jackson is a baller, so he could definitely keep his team within that number. To be honest, I haven't watched too much of Missouri. I know they have some good wins against Arkansas, but then they got blasted by Alabama right after. So I think they're a decent team, but like Ryan said, I mean, this is all pressure on Missouri to win this game. If they lose this game, that's a tragedy.
And I think that's the crazy scenario here is a lot of teams that have this pressure, a lot of them are I feel like veteran teams. Missouri's kind of brand new to the scene of being good in college basketball, so maybe that could be a dangerous game there. Yeah, let's keep it in that vein. What double-digit dogs or large dogs? I mean, Eastern Michigan, like you said, is at 9.5 or 10. Blindly right now, if I was to take a large dog that I feel like could win the game, that would probably be the one I like most, unless there's some type of news that I don't know right now. Is there any large dogs that jump out to you that you say, man, sprinkle some on the money line here? We can win this game. We can have a fucking chicken dinner winner tonight. Mac, what are you doing? What jumps out to you?
For everybody that watched the show last night knows where I'm going. The Louisville Cardinals, the money line has dropped from 11-1 to 8-1. So we got some sharp movement there for those Cardinals because they're going to beat Pitt tonight. Pitt is going to lay an egg, eat shit, Pitt, and let's go Louisville. They're going to get this done tonight. And hey, you know what? I got that 50-1 parlay of Louisville and Eastern Michigan. So hey, let's go. Let's have some fun tonight.
I mean, that is a pretty fire parlay. And, I should preface this with obviously Moneyline Mac works very close. He was at the university. Not only is he a WVU grad, he was employed by the university. So, maybe he's on at something, or maybe he's completely just saying eat shit Pitt.
I'm going to have to burn a couch if Louisville beats Pitt. Game that West Virginia's not even involved in.
Yeah, you're going to go to the Siegel Center, have like 6 or 7 beers, come home, and your wife's probably going to be like, taking the dog for a walk. You come back. What, honey, why are you burning the couch? It's for the show, sweetie. It's for the show. Yeah, but we don't have another couch. What are we supposed to watch a movie on?
Hey, we'll buy a new couch with that money we made off of Louisville beating Pitt, baby.
Nick, is there any juicy dog that you like? It doesn't necessarily have to be a double digit, but maybe you're thinking NC State goes into Charlottesville and burns down those tiki torch loving people. What is it? What is something you got there?
If there's a close to double-digit dog I'm going to take, we already touched on it. It's going to be Eastern Michigan versus Buffalo because there's just going to be so many points in that game that like one run either way could decide that game. So that's a double-digit dog I would take. If I want to go with a short dog, it's going to be Rutgers against Indiana.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one too. Okay, let's talk. Let's dive back into some of the lines that have moved. I'm going to take you. We like to say it's the greatest team in college basketball right now. The Chicago State, and look, the dogs are barking. Cue the dogs barking right there. Hopefully
they hear it.
Yeah, hopefully not in this game, because Delaware State has been red hot lately, and I know this is the game I think the whole chat's trying to watch. I feel like, we got big games going on in the Big Ten. We got big games going on in the ACC, in the SEC. But what about a little independent at MEAC action? We got the Cougars of Chicago State heading into Delaware State. Don't look now, but these teams have won 6 of their last 7 games. That's unbelievable. We might have a showdown here, but the problem is the line is moving up and away. If you're taking Chicago State, I'm seeing it at 5.5 right now. Mac, how confident do you feel about the Cougars laying 5.5 now against the Hornets of Delaware State?
Is it discussing that last night when we grabbed it at 3.5, it was one of my bigger plays on the slate? This is our team, man. They might be able to win at the Fog right now with the way they're playing.
But where's the threshold? Where's the number where you would switch to the Hornets?
Probably 6.5, 2 possessions. I mean, although I still think that they could go in there like they did against who did they beat this? Oh, Hartford. Those sorry asses that
the Whalers.
Yeah. They put it on them. So I don't want to get in the way of this wagon right now. I mean, they're battle tested. They've been on the road since like October, since Halloween.
Nick, I know you are a Duke fan, and you've spent a lot of your life being a supporter of the Blue Devils, but I gotta think your second favorite team, Chicago State. Do you think that they can go into the Memorial Hall Gymnasium, which is just I think you grew up in Jersey too, correct? Did you grow up in Jersey? So I mean, I know some weekends you probably went down to the Memorial Hall in Dover, Delaware to catch live college basketball at a premium price. What do you make of this game?
I agree with you guys. I mean, I think Chicago State, I would lay, I agree. I was going to say 7 before Ryan answered as what I would lay it up to. I mean, it seems 15-8 against the spread. Like, that's not a joke. It's funny because their margin of victory is negative 3.5 points, but they're 2-0 ATS's favorites too. So this team is rolling. This team is rolling. So I'm going to lay the points with them for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a big one there. Huge game for me. I feel great about this one, and the line actually I think came down a half a point. Auburn is heading into Texas A&M College Station. The buzzsaw kind of had Auburn's number lately, as I know Mac has alluded to last night. We called this out I think 3.5 last night. It's down to a flat 3. So surprised a little bit it went that direction. I thought it would kind of go the other direction, but Auburn, Texas A&M. I'm locking this one up. This is a Dundee special. Huge game though. They're the more desperate team. The A&M's on the outside of the bubble. I think if you were to ask many people, our own Noah Beanick, who is he's not with us right now. I word that he's on the third date. Third date.
Rounding third.
Going to check out Avatar 2 at a discounted price. It's at the cheaper theaters now. And what do you make of you're on board with me on this lock, right, Mac?
Yeah, and if you're looking to play some home teams in a parlay tonight, I think this is a great candidate. They're going to win this game, man. The buzzsaw, he owns Bruce Pearl, so I love A&M here tonight.
Nick, I want your take on this game, and I want your take on perhaps both these teams moving forward. Do you trust either of them? To make a little bit of a run in the dance, or is there some fool's gold out there? And who do you like tonight?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm so used to like last year's Auburn being so good. I mean, I had a future on them beginning of the season to win the whole thing, and then they just like fell apart at the end of the season and like forgot how to play basketball. And obviously, they're not a bad team, right? They're 17-6. They're a good team. They just had that close loss versus Tennessee, but they scored 43 points. I would lean the Aggies at home just because I honestly don't trust either of these teams. But because the Aggies are at home and it's a short line, I think it's up to 4 now, so it's over a possession. But I would still lay it with them. But in terms of making a deep run in this tournament, I mean, would I be surprised to see like an Auburn type team make it to the second weekend? Not really. But I don't see them making like an Elite 8 run or anything deeper than that.
Yeah, like in 19. And I'm on the buzzsaw tonight, and they're asking me because they love greens. Here's my buzzsaw.
Pretty good.
See, there we go, folks. All right. I think green's better though.
He's great at it.
Yeah, he's rehearsed that a lot. Me, I'm new to the scene on the buzzsaw. NC State, Virginia. I feel like we should talk about this game because NC State this is like the quietest game of the evening, where I feel like most people are talking about all the big matchups, whether it was the A&M game, bubble matchup there. Obviously, Carolina Wake getting a ton of attention. Rutgers, Indiana, Marquette, UConn getting a ton of attention. No one's talking about the Wolfpack in Charlottesville. This is one where if NC State wins this, they might be on their verge of winning an ACC championship. They are one game back, and who's in their way? The Wahoos. I mean, the line came down a little bit. We called it at 7.5. I'm seeing it at flat 7.
Yep.
Mac, I'm on the Wahoos. Normally I never like to lay a big number with the Wahoos, but I'm an East Carolina guy, and I know how disgusting and how counterfeit NC State is as an institution, as a basketball team, as a football team, and I don't think there's any way they cover the 7 in Charlottesville. Even though they are taking on, the Tiki Torches. What, Mac? Have you changed your opinion on this game at all?
No, I can't. And you know what? NC State, I'm seeing as one of the bigger public sides, especially as a dog. I think this dog has some fleas. I think Virginia is gonna. I think they can contain those guards, keep them out of transition, and I actually think Virginia wins this game by double digits. This is the public dog has fleas game for me tonight.
I actually think I'm gonna add a lock to this one. I didn't lock this up before. I'm gonna get over to WinBet right now and wager on this game.
I thought you were Benedicting. I go, oh man, you're going to NC State.
No, I'll never, dude. NC
Never.
State. And they could have LeBron James, Jordan, Larry Bird, fucking Wilt Chamberlain, and I still wouldn't take those filthy whores. Nick, what are you doing here in this game? I know you watch a lot of ACC hoops. You're a Duke fan. Hey, are you surprised at where Kevin Keatts has the Wolfpack right now? And what are you doing in this game?
Yeah, I mean they're a decent team. I mean the ACC, I think everybody knows this year is like a disgusting year for the ACC. Like anybody in like the top half of this conference can win. So I don't really trust any of these teams to do anything crazy this year. But yeah, I mean I'm with you guys. Virginia is going to get the job done here. I just don't trust NC State like that. Virginia's at home. They're gonna win by 9-10 points.
Let's go. Take the Wahoos. Kihei Clark. And remember, Jaden Gardner, he's the best player on UVA. And he never learned to be good in Charlotte when he was at ECU. He transferred though, like a bastard. But TCU Kansas State. I think this might be the best game of the night. As we're talking about quality teams. TCU, this line has jumped up a little bit. It was at 4, I believe, when we called it yesterday, maybe even 4.5. It is up to 5 that I'm seeing at the moment. Obviously, TCU situation, Mike Miles out. That's the only injury for TCU that I'm seeing right now, which is interesting because with the last time we saw TCU in Stillwater, they were also without Eddie Lampkin. He's playing tonight, then I assume. And that's pretty substantial news for the Horned Frogs that's why the line went up a little bit as they go into the Little Apple to take on K-State. This game's on ESPNU. I'm still going K-State. I think it's a bounce back spot for them. I'm loving this one. I probably would take this all the way up to 6, but Mac, you still at 5? You still on board?
Yeah, because I mean, Lampkin played against West Virginia, banged up as well, and he looked like shit. So I don't think he's going to be all right in this game. I know he'll tough it out. He's a tough dude. But hey, K-State's lost 2 in a row, man. This is a good spot for K-State to bounce back, and this is part of our Wildcat parlay, baby.
That is part of our Wildcat parlay, and I will just quickly queue up. Nick, I'm curious what you're doing here, what you think of this matchup, what you think of both these teams, but specifically, what are you doing in this game?
We are fully aligned. I'm on K-State. I grabbed it at 4.5. Like you said, I'll take it up to 5.5, 6. But my favorite play in this game, I think, is K-State first half -2.5. Shout out my guy Stooley Picks on Twitter. We were cooking this up. Obviously, like you guys said, no Mike Miles. Lampkin is going to play, but he's coming off an injury, so he might be limited. But Kansas State's first half point differential at home is over 7 points. Without Miles, TCU lost first half to Mississippi State by 6. Mississippi State doesn't have that good of an offense. And they were down 14 at half to Oklahoma State. So I think this first half play I have a couple units on this one. That's my favorite one. And I think Keontae Johnson is just balling out for K-State. He's averaging 50% from the field and 40% from 3. K-State's an awesome free throw shooting team. So if it comes down to that or TCU gets in foul trouble, I trust K-State to knock down their free throws. This is one of my favorite plays, if not my favorite play tonight.
There we go.
I like that first half angle too, because K-State started fast against Texas, obviously blew the lead. And then TCU has started slow and came back in some of these games. The Baylor game on the road, the Texas Tech home game to start. And then on Saturday in Stillwater, they were down almost 20. And so, yeah, I like that first half play, Nick.
Yeah, I think TCU in their last 3 games, they're averaging 27 points in the first half. So I'm pretty sure K-State can drop 30 on them and cover the 2.5.
I mean, we're getting first halves here. I love this. I love this angle here, and I'm as I'm speaking. Sorry for the delay. I'm actually going over to wager on this right now. I like that angle. I like all of those angles. Maryland is at Michigan State. I think this line actually went up a half a point maybe from where we called it yesterday. I can't remember yesterday, but Michigan State's obviously lost 2 in a row. They're 9-2 in East Lansing. Meanwhile, the Terps are 2-5 on the road, but they've won 4 in a row. They're red hot. Any chance Maryland goes on the road and wins in East Lansing? I know where Max at, but what's your take on this game, Nick?
Oh, it's tough. I've talked about this game a lot all day. I like Michigan State at home. I know the past couple of games we've talked about, I've talked about not getting in the way of teams that are rolling right now, but I just think Michigan State at home is going to be an electric crowd, and Izzo's going to get his guys up, and I think they're going to have a bounce back and win this game. The points, it scares me a bit. Like if I had to, I would take Michigan State money line. I know it's juiced up because it's 3.5, 4 points. But I still like Michigan State.
Yeah, that's one of our locks. Mac, anything change in your opinion of this game?
No, I love the spot for Sparty. I touch on it every time that they've lost 2 in a row. They've drilled the team on the third game. Hey, Nick, I'm glad that you brought up a money line with Michigan State. Would you consider pairing Michigan State with another team around that 4 or 5 point spread, maybe a K-State or Kentucky, paired it at like maybe together? Their money lines are around what, plus 125, plus 130?
Yeah, either of those options you just said, if not all 3 of them, is something that I like. I like Kentucky as well. And like I said, K-State is my favorite play. So if that's something that we want to get down on, I'm down to do a little squad ride with the money line parlay.
There you go.
Oh, I like this. Let's go to the pit though and talk about. I'm very intrigued to watch this game too. Tonight's fantastic. Let's be honest. There's so many fucking good games. No one bother me. Tell the wife, hey, don't worry. Pick up dinner. I'll be home late. Nevada is catching 4.5. I think we called this at 4 yesterday.
Yeah.
I
think it was 3.5.
Yeah, maybe 3.5. So it's up a point. Steve Alford was once the coach of the New Mexico Lobos. Very curious what we think. Mac, has your opinion changed on this one at all?
No, I'm with you. I love the pit. Good spot. These games in the Mountain West, when in doubt, man, take the home team. These atmospheres it's like the Big 12, man. When in doubt, take the home team, especially a team that needs it more. So I'm on the Lobos with you. Hotspot Lobos, what we called it last night, baby.
Yeah, Nick, what are you doing here in a huge game, a critical game in the Mountain West? This is in Albuquerque. This is a bring your meth game. What are you doing here?
Ryan took the words right out of my mouth. These Mountain West home teams, and to tuck me in like 10:30, 11 o'clock games, just take the home team. I don't know the stats behind it. I don't have a number. I could be just pulling it out of my ass, but it seems like these Mountain West late night games, the home team just covers the spread. So I'm going to lay the 4 in New Mexico.
I also want to ask you, did you know, I know Max talking about Louisville on the money line. Who you like the ACC? I know that because you're a Duke fan. Who do you like in that game with that gigantic spread?
In which game? Sorry.
The Louisville. Yeah, Louisville at Pitt.
God, it's just so many points. I feel like Louisville, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they've kind of been turning the ship around. Like the beginning of the year, like it looks like they were like literally the worst team like anyone has ever seen. But I feel like they're starting to catch their stride a little bit. So yeah, I mean, like gun to my head, I would take Louisville just because it's so many points. I know you guys are on the money line, so I'm rooting for you, but that would be shocking if they did that. But yeah, I'll take the points with Louisville.
Okay, there we go. Some of the other big games tonight. Arkansas, Kentucky. This game is, you could make a case this is the most important game of the night. The Razorbacks are now catching 6. This line has shot up some. I think we called it at 5 or 4.5 last night. 6. Musselman's had a good track record against as my wife says, John Calamari. But what are you doing here, Mac? At 6, do you still like our Wildcat parlay?
6 is about as high as I'll go, and here is our money line Wildcat parlay for everybody that's wondering what we're talking about. We're on K-State and Kentucky.
You got to be over that, all right? You got to be on that. You got to be over that. You're going to make money, all right?
Going for plus 130 too.
There we go. Get in, folks. Just take a little flyer out there on that. All right. Nick, what are you doing here, and what do you like in this matchup now that the number 6?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Again, 6. It soared up from when it opened. I think it opened at 4.5. But yeah, I mean, over the last 5 games, Jacob Toppin has become like a very good player, and he's a serious threat on this team. He's averaging 16 points over the last 5 and grabbing 6 boards. Obviously, Oscar Shibwe is a force down low. And like you alluded to, like, I love Musselman. I think he's an awesome coach. I love Arkansas, and I love watching them, the last couple of years make their runs in the tournament. But I think the Wildcats, again, they're killing it right now. So I'm gonna lay the points.
Yeah, I think that's the angle still. All the way, probably. I think I wouldn't go past 6, but yeah, I like it as well. Shout out to Keith Landry. Shout out to the whole chat as we continue to go through just a glorious day of college basketball. I want to key in on what I think is a big game in the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake is at Murray State, the Racers, in good old Murray, Kentucky, at the KFSB Center, not KFC, KFSB. Drake won by 18 on January 7th. This is a key game because the Missouri Valley is absolutely a shit show when it comes to trying to project who's the best team in the MVC. It changes every 24 hours. Murray State is getting 3.5. I went with the Racers. Mac, I think you locked this, didn't you?
I do, and I still love it because, I mean, the Racers have won 5 in a row at home. I mean, that's over Belmont, Missouri State, and some of the top-tier teams in that league, although it seems like everybody's a top-tier team in this league. So if they're going to lose it, I like getting the hook here at 3.5, where Murray, I mean, they're really good at home, so I don't see them getting blown out at home if they do somehow drop this game. And it's a bounce back.
Nick, what do you make of this one going on in the MVC?
Yeah, I lean Murray State. Again, like Ryan said, I agree. They're at home, and they got thrashed by Indiana State where they lost by like 40 points or something. Yeah. So you got to get up and show up for this game. They're going to be out there busting their ass. So I would take the 3.5. It's over a possession. So yeah, I would take the Racers too.
All right. What I want to touch base on the AAC game going on between the Green Wave of Tulane hosting Cincinnati. The line's going up a little bit. It's at 2. Ron Hunter, no stranger to having success in March Madness. Remember him at Georgia State. Wes Miller trying to build up this Cincinnati program. They've been playing better. I was a skeptic probably all the way until the past month on what he was doing there. But turns out we got a big game in the AAC in New Orleans. Mac at 2. You still riding the wave, or are you going with Cincy?
Yeah, although I will say this is one of my least confident plays of the night. I just think that this game comes right down the wire. These two teams are both playing good basketball. Both need this game for their resumes if they have any shot at trying to go on a run, I guess, to maybe sneak into the at-large picture. So, yeah, I look forward to just watching this game because the American is kind of quietly having a decent year.
Yeah. Nick, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm definitely not going to lock up this game. It's going to be one that's on one of the TVs to watch because it's going to be such a close and a good game. I lean the Wave just because they're at home and it's a short number. But yeah, it's two great teams and I just want to watch the game and actually enjoy it.
Yeah, me too, man. It's kind of the way I feel. I'm not betting on that one, but we have a huge game in the MAC. Toledo, the Rockets are taking on the Akron Zips. Not only is it, two of the better teams, you could make a case the top 2 teams, but they don't like each other. This is a little bit of a rivalry game here. Zips are laying 2. I know, Mac, you're all over the Zips. You say Xavier Castaneda, Freeman. It's just too much for the Rockets to handle. And we just got some news that Malachi Smith has been ruled out for Dayton tonight. Oh, yeah. Let me hammer. Let me hammer that right now. Getting over there.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, we're talking about like these different home teams that we like, kind of between that 3 and 5 number. VCU fits that bill. So I mean, if you want to build I saw Rob earlier, like Virginia, Sparty, and K-State or Kentucky. You got a bunch of candidates tonight. You can play a couple different parlays tonight. We all like the home teams tonight.
Yeah. And look, I know I was in the middle of just talking in Maction, but I mean, hammer VCU right now before that line adjusts.
Yep.
Hammer that line right now before it adjusts.
He knew I was coming. He's scared. He didn't want any part of me.
At 2 though, you still like the Zips and
Yeah.
and okay, Nick, what do you make of this huge game going on in the MAC? All these games, everyone seems somewhat important, with the exception of some of the shittier MAC games. But this is a real one. What are you doing here?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Akron hasn't even lost a game at home this year, right?
I don't believe so.
Correct.
I
12
think,
and 0.
Yeah. So it's so weird because this year I think I'm finally catching on. I might have just been like stupid the last couple of years, but like I didn't super factor in that type of stuff, like being home in these home environments, like that much into when I pick these games. But like this year, like we said, the Mountain West and Akron being at home, like they're 12-0, and there's a reason for that, right? Like they're gonna have this crowd behind them, and it's a short number, it's one possession. So yeah, I want to lay the points with Akron. I have seen like 50-50 all across my socials of who to take. I think Toledo might be that sharp play, but it might, but I don't know. I like Akron.
I think we got away from the home environments during the COVID year, and I think
That could
finally like we're coming back to normal, or we are back to normal. And I think it's going back the way it used to be, unless you're the Big Ten.
I'm about to say we're back to normal unless you're the Big Ten, where you cancel games. God forbid you sneeze on a fucking plane or a bus, or in the classroom. Games are canceled. Both those teams have won 15 straight games. 7 straight for Toledo, 8 straight for Akron. Okay, look, I know we're winding down. I know you got to go to the Siegel Center, Mac, but I feel like let's get stupid. Let's do a 6-game parlay.
Oh yeah,
6-game parlay. We can build this thing together. All right.
Yep.
We built this city. All right. We built this fucking parlay. Let's do this.
Called a 6-pack.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Nick, what is the game you like best tonight for us to add? So starting fresh with this parlay, the game you like best.
I like K-State. I don't know if you guys want to do money line or the first half, the full game spread. We can discuss that what you want, but K-State I think is winning this game. No matter what.
First half. What do you think?
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, what about that home team money line parlay that we were talking about? Some of these teams that we all seem to have in common.
Yeah, I'm down. Like I said,
it's got to be 6.
So let's do K-State money line for the 6-leg parlay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we got one on K-State here. Wait, sorry, my screen just refreshed in the middle of me doing that. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, K-State's one. Mac, what is our second part of the parlay?
Let's go with Kentucky.
Love that.
So we're adding the Wildcat parlay.
Yeah, the Wildcat
so I have a lot of money on those 2 teams. My vote for third game then, because I do agree that Kentucky will still do this. My vote for a third game is going to be VCU, especially with that news. So, okay. Nick, back to you on the 4th leg of the parlay.
Ooh, let's see. I mean, shoot, do we take Virginia money line versus NC State? I'm down.
I like it. I like
that a lot.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm down.
I like that. Mac, it goes back to you. So Virginia just on the money line to beat NC State, because Virginia only scores like 35 points. So we're protecting ourselves here. Mac, the 5th leg of the parlay. What are we doing?
I'm going Sparty at home. Gets it done
with the spread, or
I think money line, just to be safe, since we're playing 6 teams here.
Okay, so Sparty minus 180 on the money line. And then the last leg of the parlay, watch me fuck this all up for us. Oh man, what is the game I like best that is left? I mean, my first thought is A&M, but do we do the spread, or how about the Pit? How about New Mexico on the money line then?
Yep, I like that.
I think they can cover the 4, but fuck, should we? Is that too cute?
I think when you're picking 6 teams, just take all the money line. Just win the damn game in case there's a backdoor fucking bank 3 off the referee's head or some shit.
All right, so that's our 6-team parlay. Hopefully, actually, let me make sure I enter this because I've done this before where I build it and then I'm hosting the show and then I realize when the game starts to tip and then I'm like, oh shit, I never placed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, folks, hop on in. Let's do this damn thing.
What's the payout?
I'm throwing, if I throw $20 on that, well, if you're just going money lines, it'll be 228, right? But if you add in the spreads,
okay.
I mean, I don't know. Which I mean, I feel like if you add in the spreads, we could be talking a lot of money. But talk to me here on which ones we want to add in. I know we have a couple, but if we want to go all in, I feel like we can make a lot of money.
Listen, if we had to add a spread again, I've nuked this K-State first half -2.5. Personally, I have a ton. I got my life might depend on this game. Honestly. That's like my favorite play ever. So I'm locked in on that. Like, come when that game tips at 9:00, I think like all the lights off, only one monitor. Yeah, one monitor, no distractions. I'm locked in the whole time.
All right. Well, look, hopefully you're riding with our 16 parlay in some fashion. All right. Yeah. Because I think we could sit there and argue, no, we should do this. I like the K-State angle too in the first half. All right. Well, look, the chat guy, how about the chat ask us a question or two before we get out of here? How about that? I know we want to watch this UConn game and the Rutgers game. Does the chat have any questions on tonight's action? Colby, I'm gonna have to move back in with the parents if this fucks up. You know, I got a DM. It's true. I got a DM in the past couple of nights. That's like, I forget. I'm guessing on what he exactly said, but he was something to the effect of, I've lost the last leg of a 16 parlay 4 straight times. Oh. I'm not gonna be able to pay my rent. And I just replied, hang in there, brother.
play 5 teamers.
Hang in there, brother.
Just cut that last leg off.
Yeah. Georgia is playing Ole Miss. I mean, hotty toddy. Yeah, I like Georgia. Look, I've been fading Ole Miss all year. I feel like I've been making pretty good money on fading Kermit Davis's bunch. I feel like Mac, I don't know if he's got some family that went to Ole Miss. I feel like Mac rides Ole Miss a lot. I feel pretty good about Georgia.
Talk about line movement. They're laying points now at Georgia.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that one. That's the one. When I saw that, I'm like, I'm on Ole Miss. Just I whatever.
Yeah, it's fully reversed. Georgia's +1.5 now.
Yeah,
that is a little stinky. That's the love game of the night. The Courtney Love game of the night. What about St. John's Butler? That's one I like Butler to win at Hinkle. I can't trust Mike Anderson and this St. John's team. I don't know what's going on in the lot. You remember Curbella was suspended. It seemed like Posh Alexander they benched. What do you guys make of this one?
I think both of these teams kind of suck, to be honest.
It's a good analysis.
I've bet on both of these teams multiple times this year, and I lose every which way. Like if I bet against Butler, they win. If I bet on Butler, they shit the bed. So I wouldn't even touch it, to be honest. If I had to, I would take St. John's, but again, like these teams it's like throwing darts blindfolded and just praying like their shots go in.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hop on over to the West Coast here, where shout out to Dave Marino says, I'll be at the Meth Mart Center tonight. There you go. Buy one, get one. The Fresno State game is what he's referring to. San Jose State, Fresno State, little rivalry game, little dust up in the desert. Oh, yeah. I am seeing Fresno State. Well, this opened at -3.5. It's down to -3. Oh boy. I'm on Sparty. I think Sparty's the better team, but I will say like Fresno's better than their record. I've been saying this for like 2 months. I feel like that's when we took them to beat New Mexico. I feel like It ruined their perfect season. They are better than their record, but Mac, what are you doing? You're riding the Bulldogs, aren't you?
I am, and this reminds me of my Northern Colorado play last night, where that line stunk and it kept growing and growing and growing. And Northern Colorado, we didn't put this in our talk about this in our recap show because it was a late game. They beat Weber by like 40 out of nowhere. This game kind of screams of that Courtney Love game, like Northern Colorado Weber State last night.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Nick, do you have a play on this one here in at the Meth Mart?
I do. I saw this game last night. I locked San Jose State at 3. It could be recency bias because I had them against Wyoming and they blasted
me
them
too.
By 20. Yeah,
that was a lock battle against Moneyline Mac.
Yeah, so it could be because they just got me a dub and I'm really liking them. But yeah, I think if they're catching a possession, I like San Jose in this spot. But I agree with what you said too. Fresno State is better than the record. They're a decent team. So sitting at 8-14 doesn't do them justice, but I'll take the points with San Jose.
This is a pre-game lock for me. I'm locking up the Bulldogs. This line ranks. I'm hopping on it, baby. Pre-game lock. Let's go.
I was here. Let me. I gotta. I was not prepared to play your music here, but let's hop on over there and Moneyline Mac saying run with the Bulldogs. You could do a Bulldog parlay of Butler and Fresno, Mac.
Oh yeah, I'm on it.
Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there.
I got the Wildcats. I got the Bulldogs. I got everybody. Just don't play 6-teamers. You the last leg. 5-teamers. 8-5.
There's one more game I'll tackle tonight, and that is we got Colorado State with some injuries. I think I retweeted that. There's a couple injuries or illnesses or something tonight. What is it? I feel like where the hell was that? I don't know. They're out 2 guys. I shared this tweet, but they are heading to Colorado Springs, where Air Force is playing. That fucking guitar is just amazing. But this is a tough one now because I felt good about Colorado State, but I know they're without a couple guys. But as long as they have Isaiah Stevens and what is it, Tanjay, I feel like is the other guy. I butcher that fucking name all the time. Then I feel like they'll still win the game. But Air Force has been much better. They're 12-12. Shit, they have been 12-12. I feel like in like 20 years. We're in February and they're 500. I'm still going Rams. You could do the Ram it parlay too, but I don't know. This is a tough one to call. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm on the Falcons. I'm on the Rams, but I don't feel great about it. It's kind of another stinky game, and it's you don't know what team you're going to get with Colorado State. I mean, they've showed up, but then they've laid eggs. So, I live about 15 minutes, so I'll be coming in hot. I'll be there right at tip. Get my beer, and I'll be there for
do a quick Jaeger bomb on the way out the house.
Yeah,
Nick,
drive over.
Nick, what are you doing here in a Colorado? A Mile High Club game here. What do you do? Do you have a strong feeling that one of these teams wins it, or gun to your head, who you taking?
Colorado State, they're I don't know. I just don't trust them. I've bet against them in that Utah State game that they just played. I locked Utah State that night as soon as I saw it pop up, and then everybody that I was talking to, everybody on my Twitter was on Colorado State, and I was like, oh shit, like do they know something I don't know? And then Utah State controlled that game. I mean, Colorado State kept it close for a while, but then Utah State ended up winning by 9 or 10. But Colorado State, they're 7-16 ATS, 2-6 on the road. I don't have any action on this game. If I had to, I would take Air Force money line. Yeah. I know it's only a 1-point spread. But I would take Air Force.
There you go. Riding with Iron Eagle. As Keith Landry says, Terry Roberts for Georgia looks to be out tonight. That's probably why the movement.
That would be
saw that.
Yeah. What else do I want to say? Degenerate Ringer says, dude, I need one of them shirts. You see in here, the SGPN. Hop on over there. Sports Gambling Podcast store. We got to get them in hoodies. We'll work on that, but hop on over there. I think you guys will dig the store. And all right, well, look, we got games to watch. We got games to watch. He's got games to go to. So we'll be back later tonight for our picks for tomorrow. And also tomorrow during the day and Thursday during the day, we're going to try to give you pregame shows. We want to give a special shout out to Nick joining us. Go check his articles. You can give him a follow. I believe that's at CBB Nick on Twitter, correct?
Correct.
Nick Fomelat, once again, Nick, please come back and join us and talk college hoops. We appreciate all the work that you do. And, obviously we love having you here.
Yeah. Anytime you guys need me, I'm always around for pregame show, postgame show, whatever you guys want to do. Just let me know and I'm here.
Let's go. We will definitely be in touch. Dave says, what time is the show later? We are planning to rock, I would say around 9 p.m. Pacific.
Midnight.
Enough time for Mac to come back from the game and burn a couch down. Which,
exactly.
Right?
No cards.
All right, folks. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. We appreciate the chat. Roll it along. You make it really cool. And check out the College Football Experience. We got a couple episodes dropping tomorrow. And check out the College Baseball Experience. We'll be going into full swing soon. As you know, my East Carolina Pirates are gonna fuck up everybody in that whole sport. Also, check out Ryan's work here, Ryan and Rush Show. All right. The NFL Gambling Podcast. Ryan, do you have any? I don't want to ask you who you're going to take in the Super Bowl because then they're not going to listen to your show. But maybe a prop. Can you throw a little piece of fruit out there for the fans? Anything?
J Mark and I are doing the show tomorrow, so
okay.
I'll tease that.
There you go. There you go. That hop on tomorrow, J Mark. I do the XFL Gambling Podcast with him. He's the guy who loves fucking football. He covers everything. He's the indoor football league. That's where I draw the line. All right. That's where I draw the fuck. I love football, but don't give me some bullshit fan controlled football stuff. The Glacier Boys, fucking, I don't know what that is. It's like the slam shit. It's like that slam shit where they're like jumping on springs and dunking the ball. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I'm rambling, folks. Folks, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Let's go enjoy a great day at college hoops. This is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
One time for you. Sit back and recline. I've been chilling out on the beach, couple lemonade. Can't surf, so I stare at the waves. With my lady and baby straight out the 80s, rubbing on her butt. She told me, honey, behave. Mischievous grand says it all. If I can get her alone and I can get her to fall for a guy like me, not rich, kind of fly, never shy when it comes to that warm apple pie. No lie, I've been doing the most. I'm from the R, but I love how they do it the coast. It's all chill, build, kick it with folks, crack jokes, smoke, burning the ropes, feet in the sand. Damn, I feel like the man. Give me your plan, I'ma jam like only I can. Call me the breeze, peace to you in 3. And wipe your feet before you hop in my Jeep, cause it's on like that. I said it's on like that. You know it's on like that.